Broadcasting from London, Ontario, Canada, this is Journeys with the No Schedule Man. Hi and welcome. I'm Kevin Bulmer. We are here to celebrate and share our true selves and stories, the significance of those things. There's a lot of significance in there. And we're doing that in an effort to support each other as we look to stand out, connect, and grow in the manner that we desire and deserve. And today you're going to meet Kyle Blythe, the CEO and founder of Awesomepreneurs, which I'll ask him to describe. Here's a look at him right here. We're going to talk about making it all awesome, because Awesomepreneurs, I'm going to say I'll ask him to describe it, because it's not just an event. It's not just kind of a community. It's not just really professional, although it certainly is that. There's a large element of personal in there as well. It's not just local here in London, Ontario. It's something that is just growing by the moment, that I am 100% all in on and love. And I'm really excited to find out more about the genesis of the idea, how it's morphed since that idea came about, and to just where it's going, and to just introduce you to Kyle in general, because I know that you're absolutely, let me try that again, absolutely going to love him. So you'll see Kyle or hear him in just a moment. Before we do that, I want to say thank you to my good friend Gord Fancher at Connect One Consulting for his support, of the podcast. Gord is really terrific when it comes to helping people with connection, with relationships, with how to grow and expand a professional network, to grow your business or your community contacts, maybe to help others in need. If you're looking for ways to connect with new people and have that really be a beneficial thing in your life, I highly recommend you visit connectoneconsulting.com. If you're watching the video, you see the URL right there. If not, use the numeral 1, not ONE. Connect, the number 1, consulting.com, and give Gord a call. You'll be glad you did. Carol Trickett from Trickett Financial. I can't say enough about what just a wonderful, genuine person she is. She provides insurance and investments for Canadians and newcomers to Canada. You can find out more at trickettfinancial.com. You can also connect with Carol on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I wonder if it'll come up in the conversation with Kyle, how Carol has just a wonderful mentorship program going in partnership with Awesomepreneurs as well. But you can also find out about that by going straight to trickettfinancial.com. Another sponsor of Journeys with the No Schedule Man is Laura Ma at Diamond and Gold Treasures. Her website URL is diamondsgold.com. That's a Z or a Z, if you like, in the middle between diamond and gold. Look her up on Facebook. You can find that on the posts related to this podcast from my page at facebook.com/noscheduleman. If you are in small to mid-sized business and you're looking to represent yourself in a in maybe a new and a different way, have a look at what Laura is doing, because she's creating events, she's sharing videos, she's putting herself on camera. She's just doing a wonderful job being exactly who she is, as opposed to sounding like a marketing robot that talks in a different language that actual human beings don't use unless they're posting on social media or talking on the radio. So if you want an example, look for Laura. And better yet, keep her in mind when it comes to jewelry, because she's got some of the finest jewelry in this area in London and southwestern Ontario, and also offers jewelry repair, custom design, and layaway. Diamondsgold.com. Our most recent episode prior to this one featured Brett Lucier, who's the owner of Provincial Glass and Mirror. They're a professional full-service glass company owned and operated in southwestern Ontario. And what an incredible story from Brett, rising from the entry level where he was breaking as much glass as he was actually installing correctly, and then rising all the way up over the course of 18 years to actually owning the company. And he told that story and shared so many of the lessons that he's learned in that, or with that, in the previous episode to this one. It's number 87, and you can find that at noschedulemanpodcast.com. I want to welcome Susan and Luke from Travel Agents in Action to Journeys with the No Schedule Man. I'm so impressed with the job that Susan does. Susan actually took care of travel arrangements for myself and our guest of today's episode, Kyle Blythe, when we went out to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan recently. And I was just really, really impressed with how easy Susan made all of it. She's a fully TICO certified travel agent. She's a destination weddings and romantic travel specialist, also specializing in many types of travel like cruises, river cruises, exotic places like Ireland, Italy, Caribbean islands, Australia, resorts, really too many to mention here. And something else that I want to invite you to keep in mind is that Susan is also is certified in special needs and autism travel. So that's something where if you have somebody in your family or circle of friends, that's a consideration, autism or special needs of some sort. It really helps to have somebody that knows the considerations that have to be taken into account in advance to make the travel as smooth and enjoyable as possible. You can find Susan at foreverpreciousmemories.ca, and I highly encourage you to look for and connect with Susan. And of course, Mo Mondays London, the inspirational event series. I'm biased, but I think it's pretty damn good. We do it once every month here in London, Ontario, Canada. Although I might also be able to bring the Travel and Roadshow to you. If you would like to see us in your city, let me know. It's an inspirational event series. Think TEDx meets the Tonight Show, maybe a little bit of Muppet Show tossed in. If you like this, Journeys with the No Schedule Man, you'll absolutely love that, meaning Mo Mondays London. And in fact, I think Mo Mondays had something to do with the genesis of what became Awesomepreneurs, but it certainly helped in terms of me meeting today's guest. I've got to give him the credit of reaching out to me before I ever even started with my first Mo Mondays London event. He's Kyle Blythe from Awesomepreneurs, sent me a message. Do you remember that message, Kyle, what that was and when you sent it?
Absolutely. When I found out that you were taking on Mo Mondays, I thought it was important to make sure that you yourself knew that Awesomepreneurs wasn't going to compete. You know, we wanted to work together. I didn't want people to have to choose between Mo Mondays and Awesomepreneurs because they're both amazing events. They're a different feeling event, but they're both incredible. So I wanted to make sure you knew yourself that we were not in competition and we were going to work together.
I remember when I got the note from you and I was thinking, this is nice, but who the hell is this guy?
Everybody says that.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is an Awesomepreneur? Sounds made up. My world was spinning in all kinds of different directions with the new challenge of trying to get this event series up and going. But the fact that you reached out and just said, hey, I'm here. I want to work with you. Good luck. All of those kinds of things. That told me a lot about who you were, who you are, before ever even meeting. But I guess Mo Mondays played a little bit of a part in the genesis of Awesomepreneurs because you used to go there, didn't you? And then it going away actually helped you formulate your idea. What's that story?
It truly did. So I used to go to Mo Mondays. I used to go every month, actually. It was important to me to go and support the community and meet people. And then there was a spin-off event that happened out. Mo Mondays that actually closed down in London for a little while there. And the spin-off event that was going on had announced it was closing. There was about 400 people in the room, and there was whispers going on all over the place. Oh my goodness, where are we going to go? We have no place to go. You know, where are we going to meet every month now? And a lot of people have these thoughts go through their head where they want to do something, but it never comes to fruition. And I woke up the very next morning and Awesomepreneurs was born that day. I knew it was important to have an event in the community for everybody to go to and collaborate and meet together. Again, my tagline's meet, greet, grow. That's what it's all about. And it was important to me to start that.
You made it sound pretty easy, and maybe it was. But there's a lot to Awesomepreneurs. How much of what it is now at the time that we're having this discussion had you kind of envisioned and built out in your mind when you first conceived of the idea?
To be totally honest, Kevin, I wasn't even sure what it was going to be. I just knew we had to have an event. And that was the scariest part for me. I'm like, let's make this the premier group for people to come meet, greet, and grow. How it looked, I wasn't sure. What was going to happen, I wasn't sure. And each and every day it grows and builds more and more. I think that's what's special about it is it's never boring. There's always something new. I'm always open to ideas and suggestions from everybody in the community. So it's a constant, it's like a baby. It grows every day. And it's super special to my heart now. And it's amazing to see what it's been doing for the community, not just in London, but across Canada now. Ottawa, Saskatoon, Windsor, Winnipeg's on the way. It's just been incredible. It's been fun.
Let's talk, if you would, a little more about what it is. And if somebody comes across this at some point in the future, it's a good chance that it's evolved a lot since then. But at the time that we're recording this in September of 2019, because the model is really interesting. As you shared, it started with an event, but it's so much more than that. How would you describe what Awesomepreneurs is and what it offers?
So it was very important to me to be part of the community and give the community a place to come, meet, greet, and grow. But not only that, there's a lot of different groups out there. A lot of people call them networking groups, whatever you want to call it. That's what we are not. We are a group. It's a mastermind, growing, building group. There is lots of networking that goes on, but I want to make sure everybody realizes it's so much more than just networking. I wanted to make sure the members and guests got value from being there. So just the partnerships that we've come together with, like the fact that what we can offer our members and guests on a monthly basis, the partnership we have with Legal Shield, the partnership we have with LinkedIn, the partnership, like it just goes on. And I wanted to make sure we keep adding value for members and guests to go, that when they leave at the end of the night, they get to take something away that they can use on a daily basis to not only build their business, but build themselves as well.
Where did the coaching aspect of it come from? And maybe in addition to that, I don't like saddling people with two questions in one. Well, we should maybe give people a bit of an idea of the coaching aspect to this, because I think it's really unique and it's important. Maybe I'll ask you to describe that first, and then and if it rolls into it, is how that kind of came to be a part of the equation. Talk about coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I woke up that morning and I wanted to start this, I had no idea what direction I was going or where I was going or what I was doing. If I had had the coaches that we have now, we would be 10 steps further ahead. And I can't thank the coaching team enough. Again, yourself included, as our strategic marketing coach. There's coaches for every aspect of business that I knew I needed to take advantage of if I was going to be successful. Sarah Hilton, our speaking coach, for instance, for the first 4 months that Awesomepreneurs was alive, I would not go near the microphone. I would not touch it. I handed it off to somebody else. I was too shy and too scared to go in front of anybody. Sarah reached out to me and had a chat with me and said, listen, you're the face of Awesomepreneurs. You absolutely must be in the front of that room to speak and talk. And now it's like second nature. I can grab the microphone and I'm comfortable. My marketing game plan, you've changed that 100%. We have Gord Fancher, the connection and networking coach. We have every aspect of business is pretty much covered with the coaches that we have on board. And they've been incredible for us. They're available for all our members. And that's the special part of being a member of Awesomepreneurs, is when you have access to those special people and those coaches, it can drive you forward a lot quicker than being by yourself. Again, it's all about us being together, and that's so important to me.
Let me see if I can summarize this, because I feel covered a lot of territory pretty quickly, and I want to go back in in time a little bit toward the idea and explore getting started, because I think that's important to hear. But let me know if you think I'm summarizing this fairly, Kyle. When we're talking about Awesomepreneurs, we're talking about something that's kind of anchored by an event, but is a lot more than that. Is an opportunity for people in business to come together, to share resources, to get to know each other, to, as you say, meet, greet, and grow, both personally and professionally. There is a sponsorship level to it of different events and things. They can have tables where they can communicate more of what they're doing at certain events. But as members, they have the opportunity to be a member all year long, and in so doing have access to talk to these coaches that you mentioned, to get advice on their business as they come across different challenges. But there's also the opportunity to just come out on an event by event basis. And on top of all of that, it's growing to where this is happening in multiple cities now. It looks like across North America and growing rapidly. How fair of a summary is that?
That summed it up absolutely perfect, Kevin. It couldn't get any more perfect than that. And again, I had no idea it was going to grow into what it's growing into. With the cities we have in Canada going, there's a big deal going through with Tennessee right now, where the state of Tennessee wants to use Awesomepreneurs as the grassroots initiative to grow and build the small business and entrepreneurial community right across the entire state and then across the United States. Which was super special for me. I love seeing the reaction, and I love seeing the lives we're changing. And to become a city owner, it changes their lives instantly. A perfect example of that is you were in Saskatoon with me when we saw Debbie Calladine. Mm-hmm. She was a different girl 8 or 9 months ago. When she took over Awesomepreneurs and said, yeah, Kyle, you know what? I love what this is. I want to do it. She is growing so immensely over the last 8 or 9 months. That's the things that make me feel great. And I know that it's something special when you have a city owner that was, shy and wasn't sure of their game and where they were going. And now she's just centered. She knows what she is. She's become a boss lady in the city of Saskatoon. And you saw it for yourself. She's just been brilliant. Brett Tales out of Windsor, he's been known to be a little bit shy and not sure how to communicate and talk with people on a larger scale. And now he's stepped up. He's taken the city of Windsor on. And I notice changes in him every single day when I talk to him. And that's what I've seen Awesomepreneurs become and turn into. And it's just been incredible and inspiring and fun. And I couldn't ask for a bigger, better dream.
When you see people stepping up like that, that fires me up. And the further I'm going, Kyle, the less patience I have for listening to excuses. And regardless of our circumstances or our backgrounds, I think one common thing that we all have being human is we've all got reasons that we could hang our hats on to hold ourselves back or stay where we are, or wish and what if.
You're so right.
What I see from you and from Brett and from Debbie and from all the people that I've met here in London and Saskatoon, and I'm so excited to get out to the other cities, is people that in one form or another are fighting off those excuses. It takes commitment to go out and be around people and to say, I want to learn something. I want to share. I want to encourage. I want to collaborate, rather than just sitting around at the Tim Hortons bitching about how rough everything is. And I think that apologize for this Shakespearean soliloquy here, but we're going to need more people in small to mid-sized business taking ownership over their own lives. And we can't get up the mountain alone. And I think that you've hit on something that is really, really, really important, that when people find themselves a part of, they realize the power of it without even necessarily recognizing maybe why they feel that it's so powerful. But I think part of it is that it was born from such a sincerity of you having to get past and get over some of that initial terror of, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how to run an event. I certainly don't want to speak in front of people. But you continue to do it. What was it that made you, recognize some of those fears and potential limitations, but even more importantly, what was it that drove you to go, I not only can overcome these things, but I have to. Now's the time. What was it?
I think it has a lot to do with my past and growing up. I was a hockey player all my life. I was a crazy goalie. They always call the goalies the crazy ones. And I always have an answer for that. And I'd rather get hit by a 6-ounce puck than a 200-pound guy any day of the week. And again, it goes back to the skills that I learned playing hockey. Hockey for me wasn't just a sport. It was about all the life lessons, all the people I met, all the incredible. It was just, I'm so thankful to my parents each and every day to this day for allowing me to do that. And a lot of my personality and a lot of what I've overcome and had to put up with and come through is to do with hockey. Um, and my competitiveness and my will to not lose. I do not like to lose. I've been competitive all my life. And I got in so deep with Awesomepreneurs so quick that there was no way I could possibly look back. And now there's nowhere to go but up. And it all goes back to those hockey days and my competitiveness. That's what I truly believe. And it's all about the team. Like, I love the team aspect. And if you can be part of a team, it becomes something super special. And the people that have been involved with Awesomepreneurs and continue to be involved with Awesomepreneurs on a daily basis, those are now my family. Those are my team members. And I love them dearly. And it's been just incredible.
Sometimes I think, Kyle, we wait for what seems like a perfect sort of open, seamless road to think that's the right thing for me to pursue, as opposed to the one that's got some pitfalls and obstacles and dragons along the path. And what I'm getting at is that, like, before we go, okay, well, there's the inspired idea that I need to follow. So you had this idea that has since become Awesomepreneurs, but there were some alligators in the road.
Oh, yeah.
And yet you like, so how did you know? What was it about that you still knew, no, I got to follow this? I'm scared to death of this, and this. I don't know how I'm going to slay that beast, but I'll figure it out when I get there. But I have to move forward. Why?
I had to make a choice. I've been through some pretty hard times in the last 18 years or so. And I had to make a choice to either sink or swim. And I chose to swim. And I'm telling you, there's a story I really, really like to share about, the negative thoughts that people put in their head about, they say they want to do things and they want to make a difference in the world and they want to help people, but they never, ever do it. And again, when I woke up that morning, I just made a decision that I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to push through all the adversity. There's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears go into what Awesomepreneurs is today. But the massive story that changed my entire life was an event that I went to with Tony Robbins. And there was a speaker that came on stage, Mr. Bob Cattell. And I had a friend with me and I hit him and I said, listen, I'm going to have Bob Cattell at Awesomepreneurs in the next 2 months. Watch this. And he looked at me and he said, are you an absolute idiot? Why would he want to speak to you? And why would he have anything to do with you? Do you know how many people listen to those negative thoughts and words that come out of people's mouth, and it holds them back and it stops them? I searched him out in the crowd. I shook his hand. There was 9,000 people at that event. And out of the 9,000 people, I was the one that went and shook Bob Cattell's hand and said who I was and what I did. And 2 months to the day, he was standing on the stage at Awesomepreneurs. He didn't have to do that. He's used to filling arenas of 25,000 people. And he looked me straight in the eye and he said, just the fact that you had the guts to come up and shake my hand and do and say what you said, I will back you and I will be part of Awesomepreneurs as deeply and as strongly as I can be. And he's been an extreme life changer for me. He's taught me a million life lessons. And he's agreed to make appearances in every city that we open, not only in Canada, but in the United States. I mean, he's been to London twice now. He's coming back to London November 25th. He's been to Ottawa. We're sending him to Saskatoon. He's agreed with Tennessee to open every single city that they open an Awesomepreneurs in. And to watch that happen, all from a handshake, because I didn't listen to the negative stuff that people said, the why would he, why would you, why are you crazy? If I had to let that stop me, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I just continue to go back to that story to push forward.
What was it about Bob, out of everything in that event? Why Bob? What connected to you so profoundly about Bob Cattell?
So again, he was so genuine and he was the first speaker that came on. So there was 9 speakers that day. He was the first speaker that came on stage. He did not once try and sell something. He was so genuine and so real that he was a person. They say you become the people that you surround yourself with most. And I thought, you know what, if I can surround myself with a person like him, it's going to make me a bigger and better person every day. And I just saw it in him from the start. And I had no idea where it was going to go or what direction it was going to turn. And again, we were talking about gut feelings this morning. I had a gut feeling about this guy, and it's been a life changer. And I'll never, ever, I couldn't be more thankful to him for changing my life and being who he is.
So how much has that helped you realize the power when you describe what having Bob beside you has done for you? I mean, you took the action. You stepped up. You made the introduction. You asked the question, and he no doubt respected that, because I'm betting, I don't know Bob yet, but I'm betting he hears all the excuses and sees all the, unlived potential tenfold from what we do. But after that, you've experienced the power of having somebody like that by your side and walking with you. How much has that contributed to who you have become in that time since, for someone like me, say, that looks by all appearances completely confident and everything, but when the camera's off and the lights are down, that needs somebody's boot right up his ass like yours to go like, no, come on, man. Like, let's go. Like, do you see how that's contributed to you being able to sort of be like Bob for others?
100%, Kevin. And again, I love talking to you during the day, and I love who you are. I tell everybody, and I have to say it because it makes me chuckle. I always tell everybody when I introduce who you are and what you do, that you've got a face for TV and a voice for radio. You've got the whole entire package. But again, when the doors are closed and the lights go out, you don't necessarily see that. And I want to kick you in the ass every day and say, listen, man, you are something extremely special to people. You do this stuff for people. You make them bigger, better people every day. I would have never done that had I had not shaken Bob's hand, because he's taught me how to help people and how to reach out to people. Because I wouldn't have had the guts to speak to him a year ago. If it was a year and 3 months ago, I would have said the same thing that everybody else was telling me. You're a nut. Like, why do you think you can pull this off and do this? So again, he changed my life, where I love to hear a phone call from Mr. Kevin Ballmer saying, you know what, Kyle, I'm having a hard time with this. Let's have a chat. Those talks to me are the most important talks of my day. And that's what I love to do on a daily basis. And it's strictly because of Awesomepreneurs and what it's become that I can do that on a daily basis now.
Do you remember the conversation we had somewhere along the line? I think we had got ourselves out to Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. And I asked you something like, are you paying attention to what's going on here? Like, if you really stopped and thought about this, I guess what I'm getting at here is that ideally, it's a two-way street. To think about the support, here we were in an entirely different city. You already talked about Debbie and the fantastic job that she's doing and really stepping up in her life and becoming a leader in that community. And then there was a whole room full of people that have taken their own destiny in their hands to run their own businesses, and then made the choice to come out and be around other people, some whom they know, some that they don't, but that they want to connect. And as you say, meet, greet, and grow, but they want to do, I mean, it would be easy to just go home and sit on the couch. And they were there because of what you created. And we were there for you to see that in that city for the first time. It was fun to watch your reaction, because it was only a moment, but there was a moment I could see it in your eyes where you did sort of stop and think about it a little bit.
Only because you made me.
Well, what I'm getting at here is that when we have vision and we're moving forward, it's sometimes an easy trap to speed by the flowers that are already on the side of the road that we pave for ourselves, with help that shows up with shovels and stuff along the way. But what was that like for you at that event, with sort of all that in mind? Because it felt to me like a really special night and an important moment for you. Was it?
You know what, Kevin? That trip with you yourself and that trip to Saskatoon and to see Debbie and what she's turned it into, and who she's become, and the like just the attitudes in the room. You see people's faces light up when they're watching you on stage and watching Debbie talk. I really did step back and kind of got outside myself and looked, and I thought, wow, you know what? This is absolutely incredible. But I say so many times, it's not about me. It's about the
Yeah.
people that come out and take that time and make that effort to not be on the couch and not be with their family. They could be doing so many other things than being in that room with us. And that's why I wanted to make Awesomepreneurs and offer value and reasons for people to get off their couch and come join us. That event in Saskatoon truly changed my attitude and truly changed me in a way where I knew we have something special here and I see what it's turning into. So, yeah, it was an eye opener for me. And I'm so humbled and so honored that people are taking to it the way they are. And it has turned into what it's turned into. But again, to make it very, very clear, I couldn't do that. If I walked into a room and there was 3 people there, it's not going to be the event that it is right now. So it's everybody around me and all the coaches that we have and all the people we have involved that make it the event that it is today.
It's interesting to pause, I think, and think about what is it that attracts these people. And my experience is that it's difficult to get people to come out and do something outside their normal routine.
Oh,
maybe that's just a story I'm telling myself.
no, believe me, I'm with you, buddy. And I hear you. It is. Again, I thought it was going to be 15 hours a month that I was going to be putting into Awesomepreneurs when I first started it. I said, no big deal. You know, I can. And now it's 15, 16 hours a day, but it's what keeps me going and it's what keeps me grinding. And it's the best 15, 16 hours of my day. Like I would rather not sleep than and put more effort into building and growing Awesomepreneurs for everybody to make it something special and different and exciting every single month. And it's just been an absolute pleasure.
Take me back to, if you would, that first event.
Oh.
The preparation of it and the execution of it and how you felt. What comes to mind about that memory?
Wow. You know what? And just by you mentioning that, it brings me back to the terrifying feelings that were going through me. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to turn out. And I was actually shocked at the crowd we had at the first event. And again, I think everybody understood that I was in it for the right reasons and I was trying to build something special and we were all in it together. And the crowds have just continued to grow on a monthly basis. But again, the terrifying feeling that were going through me, I was like a hamster on a hamster wheel because I didn't know what direction I was going. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I tried to be as organized as possible for a guy that has no clue what he's doing. And I just continue to work on that monthly with the team's help and the people around me. And now I think people are starting to see the organization's a little stronger, the concept's a little bit stronger. And I want people to realize that that's going to continue to grow on a monthly basis all around the country.
At what point did you reach out to people like Gord Fancher, Abe, and some of the others, Sarah, whom you mentioned, for support in just even trying to get this thing up and going off the ground?
That's how amazing this has been. I'll be honest with you. They reached out to me. And it was shocking. You know, they saw what I was trying to do. They believed in it. They knew it could become something special. And every person like Gord came to me, Abe came to me. Abe's been an astronomical part of our team. He's membership manager. He works night and day trying to spread the word. Sarah Hilton, you know, she reached out to me and said, Kyle, you know what? Listen, I want to be part of this. I want to help you build. I want to help you grow. You know, when you and I met, I had no idea. If I asked you to become the strategic marketing coach, you know, you could have told me to go fly a kite, but that wasn't the case. You jumped on board right away. And to me, that's the special part of it. The relationships that we're building and the team that we're building. and the impact that we're making on the community has just been, it's been eye-opening and it's been humbling to me.
It's interesting to me to see, to what I was mentioning earlier, the just the process of what people are attracted to and what moves them to want to be a part of something, especially something that's new to them. And listening to what you were just sharing, Kyle, I'm reflecting back on a couple episodes ago with Loretta Smith, who's a leadership specialist, and talking about, if you're going to follow, make sure you're following an actual leader, not just somebody that has a title. And that sometimes following doesn't necessarily mean following a person, but it could be following a purpose or following a mission. And getting back to that whole axiom of lead, follower, get out of the way, the get out of the way being, well, this doesn't really align with my values, and so I need to go somewhere else. And then that's cool. Different strokes for different folks and all of that. But I present all that context because what I perceive from where I'm sitting is that there is an always growing group of people that seem to want to be a part of this, of Awesomepreneurs, but at the area or level that matches sort of their own personality or current spot in life. And I'm not saying one's better or worse than the other, because they're all so important. Here we're back to kind of the hockey and the team analogy, right?
Yeah.
But you have, like, I think that when you came across me, and I'm putting words in your mouth here, but I'm going to ask you to share your feelings on this and tell me how, cold or warm I am. As the friendship and the partnership has started to evolve, I wonder if you started to think of, oh, here's somebody who not only will be a follower or a supporter, but this guy's a leader in that he's the kind of guy that wants to go out and look for a dragon to slay. This guy will go out into the wood, whereas not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. But that, like, what I saw when we went to Saskatoon is that you had the others that were like rooting for it.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't mean to present an aggressive air to it, but it's like, I don't know if I really want to go and I feel like I'm talking myself into a corner, but how warm or cold am I? Do you see what I'm getting at here? Like, everybody has this role and everybody's rooting for and appreciating each other with where they are and what they're doing.
You're 100% hot. You're more than warm. And again, when I saw you and you took over Mo Mondays, because of the struggles that I went through and because of I knew how hard it was to build and grow and build a community, I didn't want you to have to feel like you were alone and you couldn't lean on somebody. I wanted to reach out and help you as much as I possibly could, because if I had that when I started, then again, I'd be 10 steps further ahead than I am now. So, and everybody is rooting for us. Everybody sees what it's becoming. And it's not just me they're rooting for. It's yourself. It's the coaches. It's the community. The impact that it's having has been mind-blowing. Like, again, that 10-year-old little girl, Addison, that had the charity event for Autism Ontario. Those are the type of kids and entrepreneurs we want to support. You yourself, with your No Schedule Man. Watching you on a daily basis keeps making me want to push forward and become a bigger, better person just by you being who you are. And those are the people that we have involved. And it's just been by the stroke of luck. I don't know what it is. Somebody's rooting for me because I have incredible people around me, and we're just going to continue to build and grow. And that feeling in that room in Saskatoon, and I know you saw it and felt it too because you've been talking about it. It was the most incredible feeling ever. When those people in that room are running up to us after and said, hey, when are you guys coming back? We need you to come back. We need you to come back. I would love to be there on a monthly basis, but we have so many places to be and grow, and we're just going to keep pushing forward, and we're going to do our best to get back to these cities as we can. But to have you by my side on a trip like that, it was just an incredible trip all around, and I can't wait to keep going.
Yeah, I'm glad you circled back to Saskatoon, because what I wanted to share, and I think you've heard some version of this from me before, but I've done plenty of speaking engagements now and had even spoken at Awesomepreneurs here in London, Ontario. And when I did that, I've certainly felt a responsibility to you and the coaches and the others, but also to a large extent, I kind of felt like, this is sort of on me to, I'll either look good or not. I'll either appear to be presenting something of value or not. And I can live with that either way, because that's on me.
How can you not look good? Look at you.
Stick around a while and you'll get your answer.
Yeah.
When we went to Saskatoon, I'll try to describe it without getting emotional about it, but it was different. It was just different. It
truly was. That whole entire trip made me realize and understand why we're doing what we're doing. And the fact that we got to share that together. Like, I didn't know you very well before the trip, and then we got to spend a whole bunch more time together. And it just solidified the gut feeling, was like, this guy's incredible. This guy's amazing. This guy's going to help our members build and grow and become better people. And to watch the reaction in that room when you were speaking, like, I was absolutely in awe. I've seen a lot of speakers, and again, I know Bob Cattell now. He's a really, really close friend of mine. I would put you on a stage with Bob Cattell in 2 seconds flat and not feel shy about it, because it was just awesome to watch people's faces light up in that room when you're presenting. And again, that's kudos to you and who you are and what you're building and what you've become. And that's why I want you to be a big part of Awesomepreneurs building and growing and going forward.
Well, I really appreciate that. To elaborate on what I was just trying to share, when we were there, I felt a real sense of honor and responsibility, that it wasn't just me. And as you've said before, it's not about me. And that's one of the things that I literally write down in a journal and affirm for myself on a daily basis, because I'll be the first to admit that so much of what I've done and tried to do is about me. And then I'm finding that when I can get out of that space, everything really opens up, and that's where the magic happens. And what was going through my mind was, wow, here's something that was, that's your vision, that started with an idea of you, that you had the passion to follow. And here you are in another city for the first time, that now you've got somebody like Debbie that has stepped up and she's taken that challenge, and you've got all of these other business people that have decided to be there. But we also have had the time where there's the genesis of, I've gotten to know people here in London and some of the other coaches, and many of them have come and contributed to the event that I run with Mo Mondays London. And so when you asked me to be there to represent not just you, but everyone else, what was going through my mind, like when you introduced me, is I was like thinking, I'm going to let you people fucking have it tonight. Like, I hope you're ready, because like, this is like in a good way, but like, I always try to do the best I can. But I was like, this is for Kyle. This is for Gord. This is for Abe. This is for Sarah. This is for Natalie. This is for Jill. Yeah. This is for, like, and I'm not trying to leave anybody out, but we'd be, and what I'm getting at now, it sounds like I'm making it about me, but it was so powerful, I think, because that energy of, meet, greet, and grow, connect, support, encourage. We're trying to help each other out. It was unbelievable. And that's the energy that is coursing through, I think, what's going on here. And it's pretty cool. Like, what is it when you hear me describe something like that? How does that make you feel as the creator of it?
You know what? Again, it's so humbling, and it's so, I have to check myself, and I get emotional about it as I think about it, because it's just been so incredible. And that night when we were in Saskatoon, I was looking around the room, and all that was going through my head is, I wish every single city could have been here to see this tonight, because it was so phenomenal. And that's the direction we're going. Like 2020, the summer of 2020, we are going to have a conference where we're going to bring all the Awesomepreneur cities together, so that all the members and guests can meet each other. We're going to do it in a central place. We haven't nailed down a city yet, but we want all these cities growing and building together and meeting everybody. And if I was so proud of that night in Saskatoon, that's all I could wish for, was that everybody from every city was there to see what it was, because it was incredible. And we're going to continue to do that in every city.
What's it like for you at the speed that something like this is growing? Because with growth comes new challenge. And some of them are big ones, right? Like, I mean, if you think back about the challenges that you had at the beginning, how am I going to get up and speak in front of somebody? How do we do the ticketing? How does the membership, or how do I get a website, put together? All of these things that people don't just don't think about. To now you're dealing with, doing business internationally and all of these other kinds of things and what comes with it. How do you meet and process those challenges as they come and not shy away from them?
You know what? Again, the thought that goes through my head is I have no option and I cannot fail now, because it's not about failing myself. It's about failing all the people that we have involved now. So no matter what it is, I have to push through and find a way to overcome it and just keep going forward. We've been lucky enough. There's a coaching team out of Ottawa that took over the Awesomepreneurs Ottawa, Shane and Emma. And wait till everybody gets to meet these people. These two are an incredible couple. They're a coaching team. They have a company called Hyperion Coaching. And he runs an electrical company called Hyperion Electrical. These guys, like Emma and Shane, have been incredible for me. They keep me going, as well as, yourself, Kevin, you push me. But if I have an issue and I have a business problem to deal with, I have a tendency to get emotional and worked up. And I really had to learn to overcome that and not let my emotions take over a decision that I'm going to make. Because some of the decisions are hard decisions to make, and it's not about me. If I make a decision during a day now, it affects every single member, every single sponsor, every single coach. Shane and Emma has stood up. Natalie Peters, our new VP of operations, has really stepped up. She's been instrumental in helping me on a daily basis, making the proper decisions, because by no means am I perfect. And by no stretch of the imagination do I know everything. I mean, I learn something new every single day, 5 times a day. And that's one thing I love about this, is it's been such a learning experience and such a great experience for me. But again, it comes down to the people around me. And I have no choice. I have no choice but to keep pushing forward. And the bigger and better we get, the bigger and better and the more value all the members and sponsors are going to get out of it.
What about when somebody runs out of rope? And I'll give context to that. You are a person of very high empathy and compassion who seems to see the best in everybody. And most of the time, that's met with the best of intentions. But just like any other kind of relationship in life, when you leave yourself open, I think you just have to accept that means sometimes you're going to take some arrows. You're going to get hurt and maybe taken advantage of. And I picked up this phrase from a buddy of mine, my buddy Jeff Wilcox, who was the race director out at Delaware Speedway when I was the general manager years ago. And I always remembered him, Kyle, saying, everybody gets the same amount of rope, but it's up to them, whether they want to extend that rope to pull somebody else along, or whether they want to be in a hurry to just wrap it around their own necks, hang it from the ceiling. But but it's up to you what you do with the rope. But then I think it's up to us to decide how much is given and where the line has to be between being compassionate and empathetic and being taken advantage of and dragging yourself in the whole rest of everything that you described down. What's that been like for you to process and evolve?
Oh, you hit so many good points there, Kevin. And again, it's a constant learning curve for me. And I have realized that there's people out there that have ulterior motives. There is going to be people that take advantage of you. And you know what? I've had to learn to control my emotions and not take that to heart, and just realize, you know what? They're doing that because they see how special we are and they want a piece of it. some way, somehow they want to try and get a piece of that and be involved, which is fine. I just want to make sure that I make the right decisions on a day-to-day basis so that we have the proper people involved. That's so important to me. And if you look around us, we have all the right people. And I don't necessarily make those right decisions sometimes, and that's where my team comes in. I mean, I'll reach out to you, I'll reach out to Natalie, Emma, and Shane and say, hey, you know what? This person wants to be involved. This is what they're all about. Should we, could we, can we help them? And sometimes I've had to learn to say no without feeling guilty about it. That's been the biggest challenge for me, is trying to learn to say no without feeling bad. Because what it comes down to is, when I say no, it's for the best interest of the entire organization. Again, it's not about any single one person. I could make a decision one day that could affect the entire situation and the entire growth of Awesomepreneurs. And I don't want to be the guy to stand in the way and stop that from happening. So that's the purpose for me having a team around me.
Then there's the matter of what's best for the entire organization, but also trying to toss a little bit of self-care in there as well. You said earlier about how now you thought it would be 15 or 16 hours a month, and now it's 15 or 16 hours a day, but it's the best. What you said is, and I love you so much, it's the best part of my day. I'm like, that sounds like the day. But balancing that and taking care of yourself as well, when you are so like, okay, it's not about me and I feel a responsibility to everybody. That sounds to me like that's an ongoing challenge for you, as it is for me, of where do you put yourself and what does self-care look like on a moment-to-moment basis?
We talk about this a lot, Kevin, you and I, and it's one of the things that I really struggle with, is the self-care and the taking my time for myself. Almost to a fault. My phone's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And again, I call myself Crazy Kyle because when I went to Ottawa, I drove there, did the event, and drove back in the same 24 hours, simply because I had the deal going forward with Winnipeg, and I knew I had to be back in London, and I didn't want to miss out on that. So I would honestly never do that again. It wasn't safe.
Good.
But it's where it comes. I got to find a healthy balance. And again, with my team members stepping up and trying to take some of the responsibilities off my plate, that's the position we're in now. I mean, I'm almost at a point where I'm going to need a personal assistant to take on some of the phone calls, some of the emails, because I do not want to miss one single person. And I do not want to miss one single second of this ride, because it's been so fun and so amazing. And if I miss that 1 second, that's a possible person that we're missing that we could help. And I don't want to be that guy.
What's something that you've tried that you feel hasn't worked related to this?
Oh, jeepers. There's been lots of stuff. To me, the most important thing for me is the sponsors, and the fact that I need to give them the recognition that they deserve for stepping up and believing in who we are and what we do. You see a lot of events out there where, sponsors will throw a bunch of money at an organization, but then they're never heard of. You never know who they are. You never know what they do. To me, the sponsors make what Awesomepreneurs go around. And I want to be true to them, and I want to make sure they do get the recognition and shout outs that they deserve. So I'm continuing to work with them on a daily basis to figure out new and exciting ways that we can get them, the recognition that they deserve. I want to continue to bring value to the members. There's stuff that we're adding, like the LinkedIn program, the Legal Shield, the finance company we have. I have a real quick story about that from a person I met. Everywhere I go, I get to meet incredible people. There was a kid in Ottawa. I call him a kid because he's only 33, so he's young to me now. But he's an investor. He's 33 years old. He has $4 million houses that are 100% paid for. And for some reason, he can't get any lending from a normal bank for financing to continue to do flip projects that he's doing. and we're teamed up with a finance company. I contacted them the very following day, and they're instantly willing to work with them and get him the money that he needs to build and grow who he wants to be in his business. To me, that's something special. You know, there was no other place he could go. And when he found Awesomepreneurs and he met us and figured out who we are and the partnerships that we've built, he now has the help to build what he wants to build, being his dream of being a flipper and building these properties. And he was almost in tears the other day when he called thanking me, you know, for bringing him that opportunity, because he was at a point where his rope was done. He had no more rope to pull from because he couldn't get the help. And now he's got all the financial help he needs to get to where he wants to be. That right there is Awesomepreneurs.
Yeah, it's that's a perfect illustration of the power of this energy that we're talking about. That on one hand, I so admire people that get into business for themselves.
Oh.
I don't hold it against anybody that doesn't. It's a matter of knowing what's right for you. And this, I think, gets to the whole home life and work life. And I laugh about the term personal and professional growth, because I think, well, are you not yourself when you're at work? And that's, it's just, there's growth, right?
Absolutely.
And what ultimately, what kind of a life is it that we're trying to build here for ourselves? How does it look and feel? And what I hear you talking about is just support and encouragement and collaboration for people that want to do this sort of on their own terms. But in anything that you do, you're going to meet up against challenges that you just don't know how to solve. You're going to have a dragon come up to you that you don't have a sword for. It's just part of the deal. Yeah. And when you have the opportunity to turn to someone and go, what do you think? Have you ever encountered this? What should I do? And there is genuine, empathetic, helpful. There are people like that there, and solutions at the ready that is ever expanding. Boy, when you think about it that way, it's pretty powerful, isn't it?
It truly is. And that's the power of our coaches. Again, if I had had the coaches to pull from when I first started this, I don't know where I would be today. And I don't know where I would be today if I hadn't had a chance to reach out after we built the coaching team. It's a truly powerful thing. And it's something different that no other group in the city or any other city does, which has been incredible. And that's, again, it's the power of who we are and what we do as a group and as a family together. It's been amazing. I have a lot of regrets. I regret my hockey career and how I let that go. So I promised myself when I started Awesomepreneurs that I would not have any more regrets, and that I would push forward and build this to help everybody become who they want to be and build their dreams. And that's a place where we can do this together. We can build our dreams together. You know, I let my dream go. So now I've got a new dream, and it's Awesomepreneurs. And I in no way whatsoever will let this go sideways or let it go until we build it worldwide now.
I'm so glad that you shared that. I think that's really powerful. When I hear people say that they don't have any regrets, I hope they're right. I call BS. I have plenty.
Yeah.
It's just life. But I've learned and got to a point. What age were you when you had the idea of Awesomepreneurs?
So it's only a year and 9 months old. So I'm 45 now. And that's the crazy thing. It took that long to find a second dream after my hockey ended. I was constantly searching. I couldn't find anything that made me happy and made me feel full and complete. And I knew that morning when I woke up that was going to be my new goal. That was going to be my new NHL dream. So I tell people this is going to be the NHL of mastermind and networking groups. This is going to be the big show. And that's what I want to turn it into. And I won't stop until it does.
It's neat. It's thank you for sharing that, because I'm 45 as well. And it would have been going into my 40s that I just really started to get serious about going, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What the hell is this about? Like,
I lost purpose after I lost my hockey career and stuff like that. I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And what Awesomepreneurs has brought me is a total purpose now. I know what I'm here for. I know what we need to do. I know where we're going. And again, that's what I see in you every single day. You have a purpose now to help people and grow people, and you're not going to stop until you get to the show. And that's where we're going to go.
Yeah. And I don't even know that I have a real clear way to describe what that is, but I know it when I'm seeing it and experiencing it. And I think we've done some of that with some of the tales that we've told over this last hour. But I hope that anyone that's watching or listening will consider this in the context of their own lives. That I remember, Kyle, really thinking I had my chance at life and blown it. There were a lot of people going, "No, you're still young." Like,
Oh.
but I didn't feel that way. I thought that I'd just gone through the prime of my life serving other people. But not really digging into what mattered to me and what I would regret if when I get onto my deathbed someday, and then look back and say, I didn't try this or that. And the other part of it, I think, is really interesting, is that you don't have the whole picture when you start. You have to start, and then the road appears in front of you as you run, and the people that appear, and I think it's about discovering as opposed to deciding. Now, the decision is you got to decide to friggin' get started. But then that's
the hardest part for everybody.
Right? And then actually doing it. You described how much there was the fear and the anxiety in the way. But I hope that somebody will find this and decide to act on that whatever that is. Because I don't think you can run from it, Kyle. I think you are who you are, no matter where you are or what you call yourself or what you're doing, that whatever those things are that really matter to you, that make you you, that are your values, that are your creative gifts, we either express them or we die with the regret of.
I was just going to say that you either express them or you regret them. And I did not want, I was sick of feeling empty and sick of not having a purpose. And again, if there's anything that anybody takes from this, it's if you have a dream and you keep telling yourself there's reasons not to do it, the only person holding yourself back is you. And that's absolutely it. And if you want to do it, do it. Figure it out. Simple as that.
And when you start walking, you will encounter people like Kyle Blythe, which is that makes it all awesome. Pal, we could keep going for a long time. I have a feeling, though, that this conversation, it won't be long. We're looking back on this. I'm glad we've recorded it. We've got a record of it, because I can see the two of us cackling like Statler and Waldorf, because the train is moving so fast. But I think it's important to slow it down from time to time, to just stop and appreciate where you are and what you've done and the enjoyment of that. And I can't say enough about how much I appreciate you and love you. It's going to be a wild ride. It already has been, but a lot of adventures still to come. I hope others will hop on board with us.
That's all right back at you, Kevin. And I just want to say how truly humbled and honored I am that you let me be a part of this. And you're an absolute pleasure to watch and listen to on a daily basis as you build and grow your dream as well. And I'm so lucky to have you part of it. And I can't wait to build, the Mo Mondays community and the Awesomepreneurs community together and give people these amazing events to go to make them feel special and make them live and go get your dreams. Reach for the stars. That's the way I'll end it. Is reach for the stars.
There you go. Kyle, thanks for the time here. We will be having many more conversations, I'm sure. This was awesome, and so are you. Thanks again.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. We'll chat soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle Blythe is the CEO and the founder of Awesomepreneurs. I think that if you heard or saw any of this conversation, you know that I'm all in on Kyle's vision and what he's doing, and certainly encourage you to look into it as well. And if you do, you'll find me there. But don't let that discourage you. Okay. You can find this and all the archived episodes of Journeys with the No Schedule Man at noscheduleman.com. Your compass awaits there. There are all kinds of cool tools there, videos, blogs. You can sign up to my email list. There are now, well, this is episode 88 of the podcast. They're available to you 24/7, 365. There's some incredible stories, and there's just all sorts of information there that will help you on your journey. So I hope you'll join me there at noscheduleman.com. Also want to say thank you to Connect One Consulting, Diamond and Gold Treasures, Susan Iluk of Travel Agents in Action, Provincial Glass and Mirror, Trickett Financial, and Mo Mondays London. Most of all, I want to thank you for watching and listening. This is Journeys with the No Schedule Man. My name is Kevin Bolmer, and on behalf of Kyle Blythe, I just want to remind you that we'll not find our treasure by following someone else's map, but that doesn't stop us from sharing clues and hints and supporting with each other along the way. Thanks again for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.